Hi, this is Anthony and welcome back to my show. Recently I've gotten a number of comments, both positive and somewhat negative, about some older videos that I've done concerning Nano Dimension. Of course, Nano Dimension is an Israeli company which is traded on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange with the ticker symbol NNDM. When people hear the term nano, they get excited about super futuristic nanotechnology. That's not quite what we're dealing with this company, unfortunately. For full disclosure, I do not own any shares directly, although I have some mutual funds that probably own some shares in Nano. Without actually looking, my guess is the total value of any Nano holdings that I may have through the mutual funds may be worth about $5. So while it's certainly not in my interest to try to talk down the stock, if I have negative things to say, it's because I believe them to be accurate. I'm trying to create a personal finance and investing channel based on accuracy, not on hype or hope. Some of the comments challenging my contentions run along these lines. 1. That they have over $1 billion in the bank and the market value of the entire company is just under $700 million. These figures at this time are correct. However, that is an extremely misleading way to value a company, and that is not used by sophisticated investors when evaluating the intrinsic value of securities. There are cases where companies that are making money have a lot of cash sitting in the bank and make such companies good targets for activist investors. These are big-time investors who in the past were often called raiders. Unless you have a lot of money and plan on taking over the company, intending to distribute the cash to investors, you can forget about looking at all that cash as a signifier of significant future value. And again, as I point out, all that money that's in the bank came from a secondary share offering that was conducted when the shares were higher, not from sales of their products. The company continues to lose money. It is unprofitable, and profits are what sophisticated investors look at. Certainly it's true that many companies start out losing money for a long time, Amazon and Tesla in particular. And those happen to be my two largest holdings at this time. But in many cases, money invested in companies like that is dead money for many, many years. And for many companies that lose money for a long term, they just simply go bankrupt. They just came out with their recent financials for the quarter ending June 2022. Let's look at a thumbnail of those. Looking at that chart, which numbers do you think look good? That they lost nearly $40 million in 3 months. In the previous quarter, they lost only a bit over $33 million. So that trend might not be going in the right direction. And when I talk about losing money, I'm just looking here at net income. There are obviously other numbers that you can look at, and I encourage everyone who is interested in investing or staying invested in this company to look at all the numbers from their financials, not just the ones I happen to mention. But let's look at the previous quarter, the one that ended December 2021. What was their net income in that quarter? A loss of nearly $160 million. And then the quarter before that, a loss of about $18.25 million. Now, I certainly don't want to cut off comments from people because I really do appreciate them. As I say in all of my videos, please comment. It helps me out. And even if you disagree with me, let's engage in a civil conversation. I'm not perfect and I can make mistakes, and when I do, I admit to them. And as always, I mention I have nothing against Nano Dimension Technologies Limited. I want them to do well. I want their stockholders to do well. But with this particular company, I don't see many positive signs. If you could find a trend in their finances that show that they will become profitable anytime soon, please point those out. They recently have had a management change at the top. That certainly might be a good movement in the right direction, although at this point, I don't think that you can argue that it has been. What is it about their technology in the near to medium term business prospects that indicate that they will become profitable? I don't see anything, and I've read through their financial filings with the SEC, in particular their 20F, which is their annual report. Most investors don't read things like that, although they probably should. I think for this company, it is very illuminating as a read for current holders and prospective investors, so I would encourage you to read it. I'll have a link to it in the show notes. And lastly, let's look at the long-term price action on the chart. If you would have bought back when it IPO'd, you'd have lost 96.61% of your investment. And that's not taking into account that back at that time you probably would have had to pay a commission to buy the shares. And because there was a reverse split, you may have been charged a reverse split fee. No one has ever charged a positive stock split fee, but many brokerages, including the one I use, charge a reverse stock split fee. In the case of my broker, it's $38 when that happens. So my whole point of making videos like this about Nano Dimension is that I don't see any positive substantial stock movement anytime soon or in the medium term. And I think that any money that is invested or could be invested in Nano Dimension would be better off invested someplace else, either in an individual stock such as Palantir, which I talk about in other videos, or in a mutual fund. Okay, that's all I want to say for today. I'd love to hear from you. Please leave your comment in the comment section below. And if you disagree with me, please feel free to point out weaknesses in my arguments. Hopefully by now you've subscribed to this channel and liked the video, and I would love it if you looked at my other videos. Hopefully click the like button on those and leave a comment, even a short one. All those things really help me out in building a following. As I mentioned, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some guy on the internet that you don't know making YouTube videos that hopefully provide some entertainment, but I try to create entertainment that gives you a starting point where you can do your own research and potentially find stocks that might have some place in your well-diversified long-range portfolio. Thanks for watching and good luck in investing.